his dad was an entrepreneur, so he kind of always had this entrepreneurial spirit about him. Drew would approach me of, hey man, I have this idea. 9 times out of 10, his ideas were terrible. But he came to me with this, hey, why don't we get into music?
The One More Time Music Podcast. Genuine conversations with genuine people about music. Hosted by Henry with a 3 and Playback Ben.
Went from Beamer Coops to Pencils. Don't want this to end, so part that one more time. Part that one more time. Part that shit like one more time. They part that one more time.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back for another episode of the One More Time podcast.
One more time. One more time.
I'm your host, Playback Ben, here with my co-host,
Henry with a 3. Some asshole took Henry with an E, so we switched it up.
I hate that guy.
We're going to find him one day.
One day. Henry, who do we have on the podcast today?
We are doing another Meet the Host episode. Since you guys went so crazy on my episode, it's actually not out yet. I'm just assuming that they're going to go crazy over my episode.
Thanks for clarifying.
We're doing another Meet the Host episode for Playback Ben. And let's shout out Playback Ben for the first time ever on the One More Time podcast.
All right, we can end the episode right now. My life is complete.
It took your own
I got my shout out.
To get your shout out.
If I didn't get a shout out on my own episode, like, what is it for?
I considered not even doing it on your own episode, but
wow,
you know.
That was cruel. That was a cruel thought.
It was a good moment. So
appreciate you having me on, man.
Yeah, no problem, my friend.
It's interesting being in the hot seat as far as, not doing the questioning.
It's interesting doing the questioning.
Yeah, I bet. I'm not sure how this is going to go, but
I might be a bad interviewer.
You probably will be.
We'll find out.
It's not easy.
No.
Trust me, I'm 12 episodes in.
You make it look easy. I'll give you that.
I appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Well, let's get started.
Yeah, I guess I got to get it started, huh? That's kind of crazy.
I think you do.
Well, let's take a page out of your book and start from the very beginning. Give us childhood, give us elementary school, give us family, growing up, give us the details.
Well, my kindergarten teacher was Mrs. Smith.
Shout out, Mrs. Smith.
No, I mean, as far as, music goes, my dad, I mean, he's got the stereotypical crates on crates on crates of vinyl records.
Totally.
I mean, we would listen to everything from Lyle Lovett and Bonnie Raitt from the country music side of things to Earth, Wind and Fire, James Brown, Parliament, anything funk soul, Grateful Dead. He was a huge Deadhead. Went to like 60 Dead shows at least. Yeah, hundreds probably of Dead shows. You
can't be a casual Grateful Dead fan. That's something I've noticed.
I guess not. Yeah, you're probably right.
There's no casual.
But no,
they're all right. They're all right.
Yeah.
Grateful Dead's all right.
No, so he was definitely one that, went to Dead shows, went to a lot of, he's told me stories of being the only white guy at a funk and, soul type of concert, right, growing up. So yeah, always music was playing. My dad had records on all the time, and I really got like a diverse kind of outlook on music from him. So.
Was there a lot of hip hop going on around that time?
There was absolutely no hip hop. He referred to hip hop as that rap crap. So
rap.
He was not a fan of rap or hip hop.
The irony for where you are today.
It's very ironic, but now he does support. So actually, it's kind of kind of neat. He'll ask me for links to the songs that we've been working on together and whatnot, and a lot of them happen to be hip hop and rap songs as well. So
does he seem to genuinely like the music, or is he just being a good dad?
I wouldn't say he like puts it on if we're like hanging out at a family event.
Who is Mr. McTizzle?
Mr. McTizzle. So my name's Ben McTier, obviously. But
not everybody knows.
So Ben McTier, nice to meet you guys. So Mr. McTizzle was in the age of, For Shizzle My Nizzle and Snoop Dogg and that whole kind of, era.
It was an era.
I adopted the gamer tag, the instant messenger screen name.
AIM. Shout out AIM screen names.
Of Mr. McTizzle 22 because why not? And 22 was my favorite number growing up. My mom played basketball in college and she rocked 22. She actually coached college and played in like the women's pro league before it was the WNBA. And so big basketball family. And so she was always 22. So I kind of adopted that. To this day, like my personal Gmail is, a 22 is included in the.
Do we want to give that out, or are we big shit now?
I think we're so big.
We can't even.
No, it's Ben McTier 22.
Hit us up if you want to be on the podcast.
It's not even my podcast email, but yeah, sure. You can hit me up there. It'd probably be, mixed in with all the like promo emails that I get from the gas companies and the other spam. So
okay, so your dad's big on music. Growing up, obviously has an influence.
Yep.
Is there a point where you kind of realize that it's something you want to take more seriously?
So I mean, like growing up, listening to music and then playing music. So as you know, I'm a saxophone player.
Shout out the saxophone.
Yeah. So alto sax, played since I was like in 4th grade all the way through, high school. I was in the school band, and then I even, did some like jazz band stuff, kind of growing up. So I was always just like infatuated by music, right? Because like I said, it was always on. And then I did take it like seriously in school too. Like I wanted to be, first chair saxophonist and that sort of thing. So I was like always a competitive kid from the sports side of my family. And then within music, I was always just competitive with that too. So like playing saxophone
and being the best saxophonist.
Yeah, I wanted to be the best for sure. Clearly, like that didn't pan out the way that it could have. But
we've actually got a record with you playing saxophone on it.
That's true. I still like to to bring it over to the studio sometimes. But no. So like growing up listening to music so much, and then playing music, I still never I didn't go to school thinking like, oh man, I'm gonna be in music. Like no. Absolutely not. Like that was never like an actual thought.
It was more of a hobby.
It was 100% a hobby and just a passion. Like I just love it.
Yeah.
I mean, being from Atlanta, like huge hip hop head. I mean, into the usual suspects of Jeezy, Ludacris, T.I., Outkast, Goody Mob, Dungeon Family, right? So like real stereotypical like Atlanta hip hop fan. Didn't know that any even other genre or any other regions of hip hop existed. Right?
And I'm kind of interested to see how you bridge the gap from a family, a dad specifically, who was not about that rap crap. How did you find hip hop?
So me and my dad didn't get along at all growing up. My dad and I, it was that stereotypical like get home from school or basketball practice, and be like, "Hey dad, like how was work? Like, hey son, like how's it going?" We didn't really like vibe that much growing up. Now it's funny, we're like best friends. So it's cool to have that, and that's why I say he really does support me. I don't know if it's me getting mature or him finally like loosening up and accepting kind of like that he's old as hell and like I'm into what I'm into and
boomer.
He's into what he's into, and we've kind of found some common ground there. I think growing up, it was, I don't know if it was a rebellious thing. I did, I wasn't like the perfectly behaved kid. Like I definitely like acted out in class and stuff, but like I was still a good kid. So I'm not sure if it was like the rebellious thing or if it was more just like me being just the rhythms and the sounds and the culture of it.
Yeah, I would say the rebellious thing is probably something I would attribute some of it to for me. Anyway, it was definitely something that's like, ooh, I'm not supposed to be listening to this right now kind of thing. Ooh, they're rapping about guns and drugs. This is kind of interesting, at least in the very beginning, to like kind of reel you in. I would say that's something that caught me for sure. So is there a point where you're rapping at all? Are you doing any of the artist thing? Are you dabbling?
No, so like absolutely not being an artist, right? But I guess I thought that this was just like every kid in their like friend group just wrote raps and liked to rap, but apparently that like, I mean, I know you had your own little stint because
I had a thing.
We learned that Jay Show,
yes sir,
on the last episode.
Shout out Jay Show.
I don't know if I did think that was just common, but like my friend group, really write raps. We just listen to instrumentals all the time.
Did you do the beats on the lunch table?
I was a big pencil on desk beat guy for sure. And that was like half of my detentions I would get for sure. Like in school was, pencil drumming.
Stop making beats in class.
We would just like start writing raps. And no, I never had like a rapper name or anything like that. I mean, maybe my friends would remember if I did, but like, I don't think I did.
We'll touch on that later.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe someone will come out of the woodwork and say like, "Hey, you had this rap name." But
we might touch on this later in this episode.
Yeah,
just some foreshadowing.
Okay,
just so you know.
for sure.
Let's go. Let's move into college a little bit. What kind of exposure to music? How does it evolve as you're getting older now?
Yeah, so went to UNC Chapel Hill. Shout out the Tar Heels. It's been a rough few years of basketball, but hey, we're coming back stronger than ever this year. So
we'll see.
Went to UNC because, like I said, my mom played basketball at North Carolina. She's from North Carolina, so
did you go there just because you're a fan, or did you think you'd actually get a good education there?
Well, it's definitely a reputable school. So I was always like a straight A student, to be honest. Like I was like I said, it was that competitive thing. Like I wanted to be the best at math and the best at science and the best at sports if I was doing that, right? So like I really did have this competitive blood in me. So that translated over to school. So I didn't think I was like too cool for school at all. Like I was like the kid that came back after school, did my homework like immediately so that I could then like watch TV or play video games or whatever. So but
write raps.
But school or write raps, I guess. Kind of similar to you. Like I didn't really know what I wanted to do. Definitely did not go there being like, I want to go into music business or anything, right? Mm-hmm. But did end up getting into the, business school there. So studied, entrepreneurship, marketing, branding, strategy, that sort of thing. Those were my favorite classes. Of course, I had to take the fucking finance and operations accounting classes that just,
Shout out accounting too, you motherfucker.
Were the for sure. Accounting 101 was my bitch. I hated that.
You did better in 2?
Yeah, I don't even know. I probably did, equally bad in both, but no. So like, studied business, but I met a couple of people that really like changed my life as far as music goes. So one of my best friends was he's actually born in Zimbabwe, lived in Mozambique and Ghana, and then moved to the UK and then New York. White kid though, so we always used to like play, So that was like our that was our classic like out at the bar trying to hit on girls of like, I bet you can't guess where this guy's from because he's like a white motherfucker. He looks like as white as you and I, And so it's like, oh, he's from Mozambique and Zimbabwe, and
hey, we have this African friend.
Yeah, exactly. No, literally, that was like that we thought that was so funny.
And it's not even
so cool.
South Africa.
No,
which would be understandable.
Yeah, exactly. He
amazing.
It's Southern Africa where he's born and whatever.
Okay.
But in general, yes, it was a shock to most people, right? But him being from New York, he had this like obsession with Tribe Called Quest, Nas, Biggie, the Lox, freaking Dipset. Just Big L from Harlem. I got my Grand Poobah like and Brand Nubian, like these guys that like being from Atlanta, you've maybe even never heard of. Like some of those folks like they're legends in New York, right? But like not something that we grew up on. You and I, being from Atlanta, and so it was just amazing. Met this kid freshman year.
Can we give him a name? Who's this guy?
Tiernan.
Shout out Tiernan.
Shout out T. But he just opened my eyes to hip hop as a whole. Like I knew Southern Atlanta rap and probably like more what you were bred with. You know what I mean? Kind of growing up here, we don't play those records here. Yeah. You never hear anything New York on the radio here.
I've heard of all those people, but none of them were a part of my childhood.
Him having opened my mind up to like this other region of hip hop that basically was the birthplace of hip hop. Mm-hmm. It was absolutely incredible. But still, even, having met him, it didn't say like, oh, cool, there's this other region of hip hop. I want to now do like music business. That wasn't it. I met another guy named Andrew Lindsay. Shout out AC Lindsay.
What's the C for?
It's his middle name.
Okay.
Yep. So these two guys, once again, like still very East Coast, but Tiernan, even T, he was like a hip hop head. He's the guy that likes, the culture too. So he's like a big sneaker guy, streetwear guy. He knows all these, things about hip hop and like the origins of it that your average Joe that's even like a rap fan or a hip hop fan has no idea about, right? So
makes us feel like not fans.
No, for sure.
Am I even a fan?
He would school me on all these different regions of hip hop. He put me on like, Lupe out of the Midwest in Chicago. He put me out on, people from the Bay Area and, LA and, West Coast hip hop too, right?
Side note, the regional thing in hip hop is super fascinating to me. And that's something we could do a whole episode on.
We should.
Like, just the
should.
regionality.
Fucking UGK from Texas and
Yes,
stuff,
bro.
man. Like, I mean, literally, like, he opened my eyes to all this stuff. Those two guys, man, I mean, they changed my life. Fast forward in college, we started a company together.
Tell us about World Time Music.
Yeah, World Time Music, man. I mean, it was really the genesis of it all for me. You know, shout
Where
out
music meets business.
Yeah, shout out Andrew. He was not the most into school. So he was, you know, kind of in and out of class. His dad was an entrepreneur. So he kind of always had this like entrepreneurial spirit about him that I didn't really understand. I thought, you know, everyone goes to college, gets a job for a company, you know, that's the progression. He was, you know, dabbling in this, dabbling in that. And
See, people hear like, oh, he wasn't into school, and they think he's like a burnout or something automatically, like he's not doing anything. Like so many people aren't into school because they're finding something that they're more into, and it's actually something that's going to benefit them in the long term, which I think is just beautiful.
he was definitely not into some things. Like he was definitely typical college kid in some ways. I love you, Drew. But no,
Don't do drugs.
He did have this like itch to, you know, try and build something, because he just saw his dad build his company from like ground up to, you know, I mean, this is $100 million plus company, and this is like a serious fucking company. This isn't, you know, your mom and pop, you know, retail store, right? Like this is like a massive,
not the bodega.
No, it's like a massive enterprise that he built. And so, you know, Drew would approach me of like, hey man, I have this idea, and like 9 times out of 10, his ideas were terrible. I mean, shout out Drew, your ideas were like so bad, right? I mean, like he would come to me with like, hey, why don't we do this? And I'd be like, that's a fucking stupid idea. Hey, why don't we do that? Like, that's literally a terrible idea. But he came to me with this like, hey, why don't we get into music? And I was like, my ears perked up. Because like I said, I mean, I was a huge music fan. T was a huge music fan. We were living together, you know, really good homies. And so he like, you know, asked us if we were into this like music idea. And at first it kind of started as like, hey, why don't we like sign an artist? So it's kind of like this
Label thing.
independent label thing. We were like, fuck yeah, let's do that. You know, so we kind of, you know, looked around like the campus. Like there were a few rappers that were kind of like on campus, you know, that we actually like really liked and that sort of thing. So we were starting to go down this road with this artist. Didn't end up working out, but honestly, I think it was, you know, maybe for the better, of course. And he ended up saying like, hey, you know, why don't we put on concerts? And we were like, fucking right. Like, do we get free, you know, tickets? You know?
Was that the whole basis behind the idea? Is like we can go to these shows for free if we just throw them
you know,
ourselves?
I'm a college kid, so like, yeah, was that part of it? Maybe.
Yeah.
So, you know, it was like, he asked us, what do you think about, you know, putting on shows? And I was like, I mean, that sounds awesome. So, you know, we end up doing college campus shows at University of South Carolina, University of Clemson, Georgetown, Indiana, Illinois, you know, you name it, kind of up and down the East Coast. We partnered with a company.
What are they called? What did Wale call them?
No, that was the Chitlin circuit.
Okay, it's not
That's
the
in the
Chitlin
South, bro.
Okay.
That's just like gritty, dirty South. This is, you know,
A little bit.
This is much.
Oh, the bougie mid-east.
This is much bougier than
Okay.
that. Yeah. So we put on shows, and
How'd that go?
We raised some money from, you know, family and friends to do that, and it did not go well. We lost a lot of money. We were young kids. We made some decisions that I don't think, obviously, in, you know, my seat now, I would have made. But I mean, to Chad Tenney's point, I mean, you know, your biggest fuck ups are the biggest lessons learned. Agreed. And you can grow from them tremendously.
Were you just not selling enough tickets, or what was the flaw looking back in it?
Ticket sales were okay, but yeah, that was part of it. But like a big part of it is negotiating the right deals with the artists. So when you're booking, booking agents took advantage of us, I would say. Venues took advantage of us. Our partners, honestly, we weren't aligned necessarily perfectly with the partners that we had. You know, I don't look back at all, but it was amazing getting to meet some of my like idols now in hip hop. I mean, meeting Wale. He's fucking smoking weed, eating chicken wings, and like barely dapped me up with his elbow. But it was like one of the moments that like I can't
Wale gave you an elbow dab.
Gave me an elbow dab.
Because he was eating chicken wings?
Because he was literally had barbecue sauce or like hot sauce all over his hands.
Can we take a moment to like just visualize what that looks like? Oh yeah,
Incredible.
for sure, Ben. I got you, Ben.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then Static Selecta, shout out Static.
Shout out Static.
He is one of my favorite producers to this day. He hosted and DJ'd our first event at Clemson. That was the Wale show.
Nice.
And I mean, we had Sci-Hi the Prince on that lineup.
Oh.
We had Dean's List, which was a huge like blog era group. Mansions on the Moon, another kind of like, pop EDM type of group that was on the list. And I mean, dude, we had like we did everyone as big as Calvin Harris, and
Crazy.
It was nuts. But like I said, was not going to pay my rent coming out of school.
No.
So
was going to take away from it.
Yeah.
All right. So you mentioned that after the World Time putting on shows kind of era that you had to circle back into music. So what went down in between that?
I was like, shit, man, I got this really cush corporate America, job offer, like, peace kind of, right?
I'm out.
Like, yeah. Like, this has been fun, but like, I'm not living on, your couch or like, we're not getting a ratty apartment. Like, so I just had this like standard of living, I guess, that I wanted to maintain coming out of school. And I wasn't going to take that leap at the time. And so I took a corporate America, sales job, and I did that for a long time. It taught me a lot about business. So I can't say that like I've hated doing that, over the years.
Plus the salary.
Oh yeah. And I've had the chance to, make, good money, obviously doing that. But, fast forward, of course, always just still being a fan of music, like, and beyond just fan. I mean, even in those years, I would follow like A&Rs and managers and like promoters and like people that you should not be following just if you're just an average like music fan. Like,
you think that being away from music maybe made you like want to get back into it that much more? Like not being in the music scene anymore, doing a 9-to-5 thing, and does that make just the music thing that much more attractive?
I think so. I mean, but one thing I'll say though is that it gave me time to really keep appreciating music and like being such a fan and loving it so much that I wasn't like immediately jaded by like the music industry, because a lot of people that maybe get into it early, it's hard, as you know. I mean, it's like super hard.
I wonder all the time, like what my music consumption would look like if I never got into music.
Yeah.
I think about that a lot. Like,
Yep.
a lot. What would I be just
And how would you listen to it?
Yeah, where and
how
when
would you
and
act
how would I,
about it?
Like, would it,
Yeah.
But
it's really tough for me right now to not ask you a follow-up question on that.
I'm the interviewer here.
Yeah.
Do not do that.
Yeah. So, it's one of those things for sure. I think that I just stayed so obsessed with it in like a weird way of like really looking at like collabs too, of like who worked with who, like what brand worked with this artist, or like how did they put on this show, or like this listening event. Like I would like see stuff that like, once again, the average person would just not give a shit about. They'd follow the artist that they were fans of, and that's it. That's where it would stop.
In the back of your mind, did you think that you would get back into music, or did you think that your music career was done at that point?
No, definitely over the years, I had like a friend whose brother was a rapper who actually, Elijah.
Shout out Elijah Kent.
Yeah.
Man.
Yep.
Eat dirty.
Yeah. So
shout out Ben Feldman as well.
Yep. So I think that it was always kind of like me doing double dutch into it, right? Like I would be like, like, could I do this? Like, no, this is really easy. Like, let's just be like a fan, right? So I don't think it shocked me when, I met you and that whole kind of this era has started, and, we started working together, which is when I really started to, take this music thing seriously again.
Give us a couple seconds on how you got back into it. What led to that?
Yeah. So one of the guys that I was writing raps with in high school, that, he kept writing raps. So like,
shout out Major Third.
My guy TC, AKA Major Third. He is a dope rapper, like really
Fire.
really dope rapper.
Fire rapper.
But he's like also got other goals that he's kind of pursuing and whatnot. And so, but at the time, this is a couple years ago, he had been writing raps like all through college and all through graduate school and like into his PhD.
When everyone else was like, bro, we don't do that anymore. He's like, no, dude, I'm getting better and better.
Yeah. He really was like constantly improving. And he would like send me something like, damn, man.
That
like,
is better.
That's
right.
really good. Like, holy shit, man. That's awesome. So, he would always send me raps, and he moved to Hawaii to study he got his graduate degree actually at Florida State, and then he pursued his PhD now in Honolulu. So he's in Hawaii.
Living it up.
Yeah, living it up.
Fuck a rap career.
Yep. But no, he's like still writing raps and like really does like have a great sound and like would love to be, a rapper, of course. He's still pursuing kind of both. But he flew back to Atlanta and was just like, yo, I want to record some songs. And so I asked, a colleague of yours, collaborator of yours, Ace Taylor.
Shout out Ace Taylor.
Love you, Ace. So I asked Taylor, like, yo, I knew he was in music. He and I kind of grew up in the same circle, through high school and even earlier. And so I was like, yo, who would be a good like studio, or like, where's a good studio to record at for Trey? And it was just me literally asking as a friend, because Trey asked me, do I know anywhere? So it was nothing like official at all. It was just literally like best friend shit where like, hey man, do you know somewhere where I can record? Like, let's do that. So I, got referred to your studio.
Shout out Henry.
Shout out Henry. You've managed a way to shout out yourself on my episode. You fucking selfish prick. I'm just kidding. No, so he Taylor referred me to you. We come in, obviously studio looks nothing like this.
No.
Like,
I think I was literally in the middle of a construction phase when y'all first came.
I don't even remember if that was the first or the second time, but like one of the times, yes.
It was
it was like tarps everywhere and fucking, I could barely like walk around. It was miserable. Now we got like fucking buku space. But yeah, so like Taylor referred me to you. You and I would, of course, like while Trey was in the booth and recording, like we would just, shoot the shit. Yeah, like you're clearly not an awkward guy. I like to talk to people. Like we just kind of like, as humans, like connected on like a little bit of a level, right? But I kind of like took away from that. I was like, oh, like that was like really cool. Like that was a great experience. Like really kind of like jazzed me up again about like being, because I had been in studio sessions when I said I was doing the label. Like we were in sessions with like a couple artists like around campus, like in college. So like I missed that. Like that was like really cool. Like being back and like seeing your flow and that sort of thing
behind
like,
the scenes,
and like seeing Trey record some songs. That was like really cool to me. And then, he goes back to Honolulu. And then 6 months go by because he can't come to Atlanta every fucking month. Like he would break his student loan budget. The government
Shout out student loans.
Yeah, the government can only pay for so many flights to Atlanta, right? From Hawaii.
Yeah.
So he ended up coming back over Christmas. He still had some family here, friends here, obviously with me. So we ended up, hey, I want to record some more songs. So we ended up, booking a session with you, and we just like really linked, on a personal level, and just I was like super interested in what you were doing, because I saw the progress even from 6 months ago of like what you had done with your studio space, and then even you had improved over 6 months just of like seeing you work, and it was like fascinating to me. I mean, because I had been in sessions before, and I'll say this to this day. I mean, this guy's a fucking goat when it comes to recording engineering. I mean, he's fast as hell. He's efficient. He's coaching the artists, through the sessions.
So just so that this is a record that's on YouTube forever now, would you say that I'm the reason that you got back into music?
You 100%. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You can take the throne of, why I got back into music seriously.
So when this guy is the greatest manager in the game 3 to 5 years from now, we're going to still have this YouTube video up on my channel.
For sure. No, definitely. So, you and I hit it off. I have this business mind mixed with this like obsession with music. And so I just asked you straight up like, yo, can I help you at all? Like it was really just legitimately like, I see what you're doing. You clearly got this own like good thing going, but like, where can I kind of insert myself and kind of add fuel to the fire, not slow you down, but like really like accelerate what you've already started to build.
Is that how the managerial thing kind of started?
You know, like I said, I kind of followed some managers, but I didn't know what they did.
Yeah, no one
I had
knows.
no idea. Yeah.
What do managers do?
What do I do every day? Exactly. No, so I had no idea what that actually meant, but I knew that like I wanted to kind of latch on to something that you've already started building that I really was a fan of just from an outsider's perspective, and then give my expertise and like lend my skill set to that to kind of multiply efforts, you know, really accelerate this momentum that I could already see was kind of happening. Like I said, I had a snapshot of like one point in time and then 6 months later. So I already saw like visually and like speaking with you kind of like just even that 6 month period of growth. So it was like, oh shit, like this guy on his own, like already kind of like made these moves and like he already is speaking a certain way or, you know, telling me he's up to like XYZ. So it was like, damn, like what if he had some help? And it was, you know, a point in time in my life where personally I was struggling. I had dealt with, you know, a personal like tragedy in my life that just had me kind of like thinking, fuck, like what do I get excited about? So yeah, it was like perfect timing, man.
Yeah, like my life could end tomorrow. What do I really want to be doing?
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah. Honestly, it was as you know, drastic as that. Yeah, for sure.
So since then you've started managing artists as well. You've opened up your roster a little bit.
Yeah.
You've become very helpful to a wide range of people since then. But what I want to know is, where did Playback Ben come from? When did that enter the equation? Where do we get Playback into the mix?
So you end up doing a collab release with my now client, Gabriel Avrett, formerly known as just GA.
Shout out Gabriel Avrett.
Love you, guy. So you guys had a song called I Don't Want to Fall in Love. And this is literally like 2 months into my like managerial like trial, right? That I'm doing with you. Cause you know, we wanted to just kind of feel each other out. You have this music video that you want to shoot. And of course we're trying to like do more with less, cut costs where we can, we have some, staff, of course, doing, videography, like kind of like director of photography stuff. We have like a lighting guy. We have like another behind the scenes guy, but like there wasn't a person that was playing the music.
Who's on playback?
That was doing the playback.
Who's
I didn't even
playback?
know what playback meant. They're like, yo, can you do playback? I'm like,
what? Probably. I don't know.
Can you tell me what that is?
Yeah.
So playback, for those of you that don't know, is when you're literally on a video set and you need to play the song back so that they can, of course, sing to it, rap to it.
In time.
Yeah. Do the music, like coordination.
Skills required.
With the video.
Being able to press play on your phone.
There's no skills required.
You killed it, though. You killed it.
Yeah, I mean, thank you for that, I guess. But no, it was just one of those things where it was like, fuck, like I'm standing around as a manager, like you are just kind of like around sometimes with like certain things to kind of oversee. Of course, in this day and age, I would like hope to pay someone to do this job, sadly, but like
Right.
I'm not above it. I'll fucking do playback now still.
I think that's what a manager does. They just do the jobs that like we forgot to get someone for that job.
Yeah, sadly, yes. That's sometimes what we have to do. And so
Just
like
pick up the slack and whatever.
And so, that was my job for the day. And that was, like I said, really brand new into it. And so then I started just thinking about like, how do I brand myself? Like kind of, I had run into people with like, hip hop and like music industry names.
All right, well, yeah, just give us a little, little synopsis on like what you're working on, what you got for the future. What can we expect from Playback Ben?
Sure. So, I mean, the clients that I'm working with right now, you're obviously, Golden Boy, poster child, Henry with a 3, my OG client. He was the first one that took a chance on me. So like, there's people like that everyone that's come on this podcast, I would say has like referenced. Really meeting you, was life-changing for me for sure. So like,
Likewise, my friend, likewise.
Appreciate it. So like, manage Gabriel Avrett that we shouted out before. And then shout out my guy Money Making Nique
MMB
from the Money Making Bros clique. His new tape is out right now. Drug Dealer Car Collection, DDCC.
Go get it.
It's a fucking masterpiece, mixed and mastered by my guy right here, Henry with the 3. So no, that those are kind of like my roster of clients from a manager perspective. Definitely with the artists that you've been working with, I would say I've been wearing a, marketing and project management kind of like consultant hat, right? It's like, if we're going to release a song, I've kind of put myself into that role with those artists, right? Like, and it just kind of comes with the territory of me wanting you to be successful with those releases. So that's been really fun. I love a rollout, man.
Nothing like a good rollout.
I love a good rollout.
We nerd out over like, oh, did you see how Childish Major just dropped that album? That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, him doing the whole like, punning off a Donda thing and Kanye thing. Like,
shout out Childish Major.
Yeah, Childish Major. We'd love to have you on the podcast.
We'd love to have you on the podcast.
Love to. So that's a great tape and a really great rollout.
Can we expect any more video production Ben or perhaps label Ben in the future?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, you and I for sure have really high hopes of signing an artist at some point, just because we're so involved in that anyways with these like collab releases that we've done.
We're already doing everything a label does.
Yeah, so it just kind of makes sense, I would say, as like a logical, next step. And I've talked with even folks like, Dan Helfrich, that was Helfrich. German motherfucker. Even
Shout
Dan,
out the Germans.
Yeah, even Dan, in Third Brain, them kind of transforming from just management to label services.
It was inspiring.
I think that whole talk track was really cool. Like really having a, stake in that, like an ownership stake in the creative and the music itself, right? Was really cool. And then just this podcast, man.
Yes.
I love it.
One more time.
I really love it.
One
It's
more
a
time.
fucking challenge.
It's a grind.
I mean, week after week, we have not missed a freaking episode.
We in your face every Thursday.
Every week. This is going to be 13.
Episode number 13.
I'm lucky number 13.
That's right.
I mean, it's a lot. Shooting the videos, editing the videos, chopping up pieces of content, engaging with followers of the podcast already, trying to find new followers of the podcast, coordinating scheduling with the guests that we have. I mean,
but damn if it hasn't already been rewarding.
Oh my God, it feels so good, man. I mean, just the stories that we've gotten to help tell.
Yeah.
I mean, it's incredible. Like, I hope mine's not been like too boring, but like the other episodes, go check out 1 through 12, even Henry's episode, if you don't like mine. But no, man, like it's been incredible.
It's been a journey.
Like these are real people that have such unique backgrounds and stories. And even if they're not, superstar J. Cole, Eminem status yet, I think that the people that we've had on are gonna be there.
That's right.
If they're not yet, obviously. And some of them have already seen such crazy success. You take Leah that's done collabs with every who's who of EDM, right? You take some of the managers we've had on and label execs like Dan and Whoa.
Whoa. Cool. Well, anything you want to add before we go into this rampage?
No, I think that appreciate you guys, tuning in to all the episodes so far. Obviously Henry's about to rampage my ass. So buckle up, but no, this has been really cool. So I think you've done great, man, of asking the questions.
Thank you. So if for any reason you can't make an interview, I can run the podcast without you.
If I'm sick.
If you get COVID tomorrow.
Oh my God, why would you knock on every wood. There's a new variant,
There is.
There's a new variant.
I've heard of the variant. I've heard that you literally...
I'm fully vaxxed, bro. So
you need a vaccine to eat indoors in New York now. So that's kind of wild.
Yep, for sure.
And before we start this rampage, let's just take a moment to appreciate how great it is that with no video editing at all and no pauses, my drink has magically refilled itself somehow, because we definitely don't edit any of these episodes at all. Not
it's
once,
live.
never.
It's one cut, one take.
Here we go.
Bro, have you been wearing this construction vest this whole time? Have I blacked out this whole video?
I don't know what you've been looking at, but it's very bright. And
I think I made too many jokes about it before we started that I forgot to make a joke about it right now. So I'm going to take my time right now. Can you guys throw shade at Henry about his construction vest in the comments.
Or if you think that a vest is a very beneficial thing that can get you to sneak into anywhere that you want to go without paying,
maybe construction sites.
leave a comment. No, like the Kanye concert on Thursday, I might just show up with this and a hard hat and see if I can get in.
Well, now everyone knows when we're filming this.
Well, okay, it's not dropping the same day. Spoiler alert. Can we start the Rampage?
We can. Let's do it.
Playback Ben, rapid fire Rampage.
Let's get it.
It's a 3-part Rampage.
Is it?
Starting with short answer.
I'm unfamiliar with the Rampage. Can you explain to me?
You did a Rampage last week. I don't want to hear it.
Okay.
Here we go.
That's a gnarly sip right there.
Ben.
Yes, Henry.
If Willie's went out of business, would you starve to death?
No, I would definitely have to still go to Chipotle. Wow. It's my go-to backup.
Wow, traitor.
I do feel weird every time I go in there, but...
Give us 3 artists or bands in your top 10 all time. Doesn't have to be a particular order.
Van Morrison, Outkast, and Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Fire.
God damn, that's good.
That was a fire 3.
I hate only having 3, but you love the number 3.
If you started rapping tomorrow, what would your name be? And I said this would come back, didn't I?
Mr. McTizzle.
Love it.
That's it, man. It's just easy.
It works.
Or Playback Ben, I guess.
Kind of works. Joe Biden exiles you from America. You know what the rest of the question is.
Oh my gosh, where am I going?
Where are you going?
I'm going to like the Caribbean somewhere, man.
Yes.
I'm going to but it's a U.S. Virgin Island. Does that count?
We'll let it slide.
We'll let it slide?
Yeah, we'll let it slide.
St. John. I'm coming for you, St. John. I love it. It's like literally one of the I've taken 2 vacations there in my life, and it's my favorite place to go.
And it's not too far from here.
No.
Yeah. Not that you could come back.
Can't get rid of me that easy, Joe.
No, you're exiled. You're not coming back. If you could manage one person outside of your current clients, who would it be? Alive or dead? Who is it?
Bill Withers. Rest in peace, man.
Give us one of the best decisions you ever made.
Man, it's cliche, but this music stuff has changed my life. I mean,
getting back into it the second time.
Getting back into it the second time. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but the first time is what led to the second time. Sure. So I guess you can,
lump that in.
Play devil's advocate and say it was the first time that really even made me think about it. But I was in such a dark place, for real. It saved my life. I mean, shout out Lupe Fiasco. Hip hop saved my life. I mean, music really did save my life. It gave me purpose, and just being a part of this stuff with you and Gabe and Nique and just the other artists we've been working with, man, it gives me no greater joy than to see you guys doing your thing.
I love it. I love it. If you could get one thing through the heads, just really drive home to all of your clients, one tip, trick, what is one thing you just wish all your clients just knew it was the back of their hand?
Man, I mean, do you know where I'm going?
No, that's why I'm asking.
What would you guess my answer would be? See, do you see how I flipped it on you and now it's interviewing you?
That's fucked up, man.
Okay, fine. I'll answer.
I do have a guess.
Okay, go ahead.
Probably something work ethic related, wanting it every day.
Sure. I mean, so that's honestly not where I was going necessarily,
okay.
But treating your artistry like a career, right? If you're a business, you get up and do stuff every day that's going to further your business. It's so simple. It's whatever you got, make them buy into the next thing you put out, the next thing you roll out. Like Apple. Do you buy the next iPhone as much as you can? 100%. As many times as you can buy a new iPhone, you do. So you're the existing customer thing where they're constantly feeding you. But then do they want to they want to get those goddamn Galaxy
Android
motherfuckers, right?
Man.
They want those. So it's really so simple. And if you break it down, it's whoever you got, feed them, constantly feed them, make them feel like they're part of something, like why they even got into, you know, being a fan of yours in the first place or a consumer of yours in the first place. And then it's, hey, who's not and why? How do we get them, you know, into our world and really like, you know, make them become a fan and a consumer, a customer of yours, right? It's just more thinking about it, as that business. Like we all want to just be in the studio making music all the time and just being these creative, you know, whatever, you know, people. But as much as I want to do that, I also know that like it's not how it works.
See what happens when you ask a manager for one quick tip?
You get 3 fucking tips.
I think that's gonna do it for the first part of the Rampage. Short answer. I don't know if we can call it that, but that was a lot of gems.
That was a long answer.
That was good gems in there. I'll give you that.
I'm so passionate about
I know
that last topic.
It shows. Man. I knew I was gonna bring it out of you.
Because it's like no one does it.
Yeah.
Even like, I mean, shit. Like as much as I preach it and like stand on my soapbox to you and like Gabe and Nique, like man, like it's just not. It's not easy.
No,
that's the thing.
No, it's not.
It is not easy. So
moving on to the this or that. Part 2 of the Rampage. We're going to give Ben 2 choices. He's going to pick one. Here we go.
Let's get it.
And this first one is sensitive, so think carefully, but not too carefully.
Oh, God.
Because we want honesty. Managing artists or managing producers?
Producers, boy.
House party. I mean, go ahead.
I'm here. I'm here with my guy Henry.
Let's go.
You were my you know first entrance into the industry. So,
house party or the club?
God, neither.
That's an acceptable answer.
Home with my wife and my
shout
family.
Out Lana. Can we shout out Lana one time?
I love you, Lana.
We love you, Lana.
Yeah, no, neither.
Cool.
I'm so lame these days. You know this.
You hit 30 already. I'm coming up on 30, so I'm wondering if I'm.
I was already like that at like 28, man. Okay. I don't even have the 30 excuse.
Okay. Michael Jordan or Roy Williams?
Oh my God, MJ.
TV shows or movies?
TV shows.
Willie's or Chick-fil-A?
Oh my God.
That's probably the hardest one, right?
It's the worst question anyone's ever asked.
Because just for anyone that doesn't know, we link up a lot. He's over here at the studio a lot. And 9 times out of 10, it's Willie's or Chick-fil-A is in his hand. So I want to know once and for all.
And that's why I've gained like 30 pounds since you met me, probably. No, man, it's going to have to be Chick-fil-A.
No way.
It's going to have to be Chick-fil-A.
Didn't see that coming.
I can't deal without my waffle fries.
Okay, fair enough. That's why we're doing the Rampage.
Did I surprise you?
Definitely. Do I seem surprised?
Do I want Willie's on my way home right now?
Yes.
Yes, 100%.
Boxers or briefs?
I'm a boxer brief guy. Does that count?
Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah.
Because they're not straight briefs, you know?
Yeah.
They're a little bit looser.
Yeah.
But they're not the
they
straight
don't get
flowy.
Tangled up like
they're
boxers.
They're not the straight
not
flowy boxers.
Love it. Love boxer briefs.
Yep.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs. I'm allergic to cats.
Easy enough.
Shout out Mocha. I love you, girl.
YouTube or podcasts?
Podcasts on YouTube. And if you're listening to this podcast or you're watching it on YouTube already, please like, subscribe, comment.
Hit the bell too, so you get the notifications
hit the bell
for new episodes.
Yeah, no, podcasts on YouTube. I mean, I just think that it gives it a different touch. We could have just as easily started just a normal podcast that was only audio. But I think that, you know, with iPhones being incredible, and we've already divulged that we shoot this on a bunch of iPhone. I'm talking like multiple.
And we look great.
iPhones, and we look freaking amazing. I think that, you know, podcasts on YouTube.
Love it. The lake or the beach?
Oh, the lake. Oh my God, I love the lake, man. Fuck my parents for selling the lake house that they owned. That was like my sanctuary growing up, man. So it was tough to see that go.
We'll get one back.
I'm already searching, so like, yeah.
Love it.
I'm like,
lyrics or swag?
Lyrics. I'm a songwriter fiend. I mean, like, if you look at any platinum, diamond, gold record, it's It's the lyrics.
I don't agree with that.
It's the lyrics, man. There's no instrumental platinum records. Show me one. Show me one.
They have lyric. A lot of
Show
hit
me
songs
an instrumental platinum record.
They all have lyrics, but not all the lyrics are good. You know how many lyricists don't do numbers versus the people that are just like, I love a girl and she had a face.
But it's catchy lyrics.
Of
and
course,
melodies.
but that's not. All right. Part 2 of the Rampage.
But it's an interesting thought. I've never actually thought about it that like there's no instrumental platinum records though.
I don't think so, huh?
No, there's definitely not.
Could we be the
There's
first?
No chance.
Should we do an instrumental project? And
I mean, okay,
platinum push?
fact check me for real on this because like maybe there is.
Let us know in the comments if there's
it might
any
be in like
instrumental
EDM or
platinum
something. Yeah, I
records,
don't know, but like
moving on to the word association, final part of the Rampage. Playback Ben, part 3. You've almost made it through. You've done great so far.
thank you.
But you'll really be tested here with the word association. We're going to give you one word. You're going to spit one word back, top of your head. Here
Let's
we
get
go.
it.
Rampage!
Guitar.
Hero.
Corona.
Virus.
Contract.
Negotiation.
Korea.
North.
Evan.
Williams.
My boy.
I don't think I'll ever be able to hear a guy named Evan without thinking his last name is Williams. Thanks to you.
Yeah, I love it. Purple.
Hayes.
Crypto.
To the moon.
Love it. Decatur.
The deck.
Shrimp.
Lobster.
Politics.
Biden.
Static Selecta.
God damn, a Boston white legend of hip hop. I don't even know what one word. It's incredible. I love him.
What a rampage. What a rampage.
Clemson, World Time, Gold, or freaking
World Time Client.
Fest, man.
Love it. What an episode. Wow. Yeah, and I guess I'm doing the outro thing now. Thank you, Playback Ben, for,
I mean, I can help with the outro, man.
because I'm new to this. So go
Yeah.
ahead.
Are you okay?
No,
You need-
I'm already freaking out.
Guys, this has been amazing. I love getting to know Henry on the last episode. I hope you guys have enjoyed, me blabbering about what I've been up to and kind of how I got my start. We thought it was important because we're doing this podcast thing and we could very well be two random people that have nothing to do with music sitting in these chairs just interviewing music related guests. But I think it's fair to give you an outlook on where we come from and what we're up to in music. So
Who the hell are these hosts?
Yep. So we appreciate it for real. If you're on YouTube, really do like this video, subscribe to Henry's channel, comment on the video. Let us know what other guests you think we should have on. We've found a bunch of our guests really already by people recommending them.
100%.
So that's been amazing. Shout out other topics that you want us to cover in these episodes, because at the end of the day, we are doing this for us, but we really are doing it for you guys. So we appreciate you guys tuning in. And until next week, we're out.
Bye-bye.
Peace.
Pop that shit like one more time. They pop that one more time. Pop that shit like one more time. They pop that one more time. Hop up in that foreign skirt, no. All the homie, this shit tripping, no. Middle finger to the law.